Well, for some analysis of the situation in Tunisia, I'm now joined by our International Affairs editor, Philip Turle. Philip, Tunisia is often cited as an example of where the Arab Spring was relatively successful, but it is a complicated picture. What's improved there and what has not improved?
Well, it's a little bit difficult to live here to actually paint a very positive picture about the situation in Tunisia over the past 10 years. Certainly there has been an improvement as far as democracy is concerned, with the first free elections in the country back in 2014, following the overthrow of President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali with no bloodshed. It's the only country where democratic progress has been noted after the Arab Spring of 10 years ago. There's also increased internet freedom in Tunisia, but a boost there in 2012 has remained fairly stagnant since then. And there has been an improvement in women's empowerment from just under 20% when the Arab Spring took place to up to 30% now. Many women are speaking out more about the injustices that they face today. But there are some not very good points. And the first one is that the feeling that democracy has taken over has now been replaced by one that feels that it's been taken over by corruption, with the riches not shared by everybody in Tunisia. The World Bank says corruption persists and is worsening across the whole region. The economy in Tunisia is also in dire straits, with rising inflation, higher prices, 16% average unemployment, a 9% recession, and a 90% debt equivalent of GDP. And there's also been a fall in the standard of living and rising prices. And coupled with that is also no improvement really in press freedom either in Tunisia. So many people today are very disappointed about the situation there. And there are fears of protests, and so much so that even the president of Tunisia, Kais Saied, who was due to take part in celebrations today in Sidi Bouzid, has cancelled his trip there because he feels that he would not be welcome on this 10th anniversary.
Now, you mentioned the economy there, Philip. I believe young Tunisians have been hit particularly hard by the state of the economy and the lack of prospects when it comes to employment.
Yeah, I think young people are definitely the biggest victims. It's a very cruel situation in Tunisia for them. Youth unemployment remains very high. 16% is the general unemployment rate, but it's up to 35% in Tunisia for young people under 25. There's little hope for them if they want to earn money, to live decently, to raise a family, and many have been pushed to either flee the country or even think about working for terrorist groups who can offer them easy money. There's also been an increase in young people trying to cross the Mediterranean to Europe, where they want to try to build a new life at the other side of the Mediterranean, and many of them have died in trying to do so. And the collapse of the tourist industry, plus the arrival of the COVID crisis in Tunisia, like everywhere else in the world, has done nothing to alleviate the situation. So I think there is definitely a feeling of dismay amongst young people in Tunisia, and even those who have an education, who are doctors, lawyers, dentists and others. They can't find work, and they're trying to leave the country too, in many cases. And when you have a brain drain leaving a country like Tunisia, that is definitely bad news for the economy and for the country's future.
Thank you very much for those details, Philip Turle there, speaking to us from our International Affairs desk.